Previously, not on Home Movie Club. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. In the early 18th century, while sailing to their new life in Port Royal, Jamaica, Governor Weatherby Swan, his daughter Elizabeth, along with Lieutenant James Norrington, encounter a shipwreck and discover a young boy, Will Turner, floating in the wreckage. Elizabeth finds a golden pirate medallion around Will's neck, but hides it in order to protect him. Securing the medallion, she glances up and sees a ghostly black ship vanishing into the fog. 8 years later, and Norrington is promoted to the rank of Commodore in the Royal Navy. After the confirmation ceremony, he proposes to Elizabeth, but her overly tight corset makes her faint, and she falls from the battlements into the sea below, mysteriously activating the pirate medallion that she now wears around her neck. Captain Jack Sparrow comes to Port Royal to commandeer a ship, but seeing Elizabeth fall, dives in and rescues her. However, despite his good deed, Norrington identifies Jack as a pirate, tries to imprison him, and a chase ensues. Running through the town, Jack encounters Will, now a blacksmith and swordsman, working in his forge. They duel, and Jack is captured and imprisoned. That night, the Black Pearl, the ghostly ship that Elizabeth saw as a child, attacks Port Royal, searching for the medallion. The pirate crew capture Elizabeth, taking her to meet Captain Barbossa for negotiations. Elizabeth claims her surname is Turner to conceal her identity as the governor's daughter, but Barbossa seems more interested by this name and takes her prisoner. Elizabeth soon learns that after Barbossa's crew took the cursed treasure of Cortez from Isla de Muerta, they were forced to bear the curse of the undeath, meaning that they appear in their true form as heavily decomposed corpses when bathed in moonlight. To lift the curse, they need to return all 882 gold pieces, along with the blood of the owner of each piece, and the Elizabeth's medallion is the final piece they need. Will Turner frees Jack to rescue Elizabeth, with whom he has fallen in love. Jack agrees upon learning Will's surname. The two commandeer the HMS Interceptor and head to Tortuga to recruit a crew, including Jack's friend, Gibbs. Jack reveals that Will's father, Bootstrap Bill Turner, was also a pirate, and he was thrown overboard while tied by his bootstraps to a cannon. Gibbs tells Will that Jack was captain of the Black Pearl until Barbossa mutinied and marooned him. At Isla de Muerta, Will and Jack witness Barbossa sacrificing Elizabeth's blood and the final gold piece, although the sacrifice is little more than a small cut on Elizabeth's palm. But the curse is not lifted because the medallion belonged to Bootstrap Bill Turner, making Will Turner the owner by bloodline. Will rescues Elizabeth and brings her to the Interceptor, whilst Jack is captured by Barbossa and his crew and gets locked in the brig of the Black Pearl. The Black Pearl pursues the Interceptor, taking the crew hostage and destroying the ship. Will then makes a deal with the Barbossa to release Elizabeth in exchange for his blood, but Barbossa exploits a loophole in their agreement, marooning Jack and Elizabeth on the island Jack was marooned on before. Jack confesses that his previous daring escape from the island was helped, in no small part, to rum runners who used the island for a hiding place for their contraband. However, Jack admits that the rum runners were long since out of business and that all that's left is the rum. Elizabeth makes a smoke signal, burning the rum, much to the annoyance of Jack. Seeing the signal, Commodore Norrington brings the HMS Dauntless to rescue Elizabeth and to arrest Jack. Elizabeth requests that Norrington return for Will. However, Norrington refuses, but is convinced to assist Elizabeth when she says that if he does, she will accept his marriage proposal. That night, the Dauntless arrived at Isla de Muerta. Jack plans to lure the pirates out to be ambushed by the crew of the Dauntless, but the plan goes awry when Barbossa's crew walks underwater to attack the Dauntless. Elizabeth escapes the Dauntless and frees Jack's crew from the Pearl, but they refuse to rescue Will, so Elizabeth sets out on her own while Jack's crew takes the Pearl and flees. Jack reaches a deal with Barbossa to operate a pirate fleet, but suddenly frees Will and duels Barbossa, while Elizabeth and Will fight off Barbossa's crew. Barbossa stabs Jack, but the latter is revealed to be under the curse, having taken a piece of gold from Cortez's chest. Jack reveals the deception as a coup to win back the Pearl. Jack shoots Barbossa as Will drops the last medallion into the chest with his blood on it. The curse is lifted, causing Barbossa to die from Jack's gunshot. The rest of Barbossa's crew, realizing that they are no longer immortal, surrender and are arrested. Back at Port Royal, Jack is led to the gallows to be hung for piracy. Elizabeth diverts Norrington's attention as Will attempts a rescue, but Will and Jack are surrounded and held at gunpoint. Elizabeth intercedes and declares her love for Will, leaving Norrington crestfallen. Jack dives into the sea and escapes aboard the Black Pearl, which is waiting nearby. Governor Swan then pardons Will and gives his blessing for Elizabeth to marry him. Norrington permits Jack and the Pearl 1 day's head start before initiating pursuit. In a post-credit scene, Barbossa's pet monkey Jack steals a piece of gold from the chest and regains immortality. What happens next? Listen in next time to Home Movie Club, where we'll be discussing Pirates of the Caribbean 2: Dead Man's Chest, coming soon.